These homes behind me were bought by the city to be preserved and have since received historical landmark designation. After that was completed, the city decided to sell the homes to a nonprofit who could add culture to the community. This is the story of how Public Space One ended up in this North Side neighborhood.
And I think a lot of people haven't known about PS1 because it's been literally underground in various locations in the communities.
Public Space One was founded in 2002.
What I like to say is that we're an artist-led, community-driven, contemporary arts center.
Screenings, readings, workshops, performances. The group supports all kinds of art.
We have artists in leadership positions, and that we think overall as an ethos that artists' voices and ideas are really important to be a part of sort of shaping the world that we live in.
Over the years, the organization has called a few different places home, most recently operating out of the lower level of the Wesley Way Center.
We've been in a basement location for a while and we've done our best, but we've constantly spread out and taken over more of that space, but you're confined, there's nowhere else to go, right?
So when the chance to move above ground and claim a more permanent home popped up, PS1 leapt at the opportunity.
You want people to see what you're doing. Artists, they make work. It's called showing work. It's about people seeing that work and having that response to it. And for us, that was kind of the number one factor in this move is just trying to be more visible.
The city of Iowa City had purchased these two homes on the 200 block of North Gilbert Street from Mercy Hospitals. The original plan was to use them as part of the University program, which refurbishes and sells homes in core neighborhoods to spur revitalization. However, these century-old homes were surrounded by commercial use in the North Side neighborhood. So instead, the goal was to find a nonprofit that would enhance arts and culture in the community.
You know, I think it's going to be a really great contributor to the sort of ecosystem of this neighborhood, which has kind of an arts writery kind of identity. It feels like a really good community to be finding a new home in.
Once their bids were accepted, the next step was renovations. At the same time, it was both exciting and overwhelming.
Natural materials like wood can look tired and they're also resilient. And so, you know, when we came in here, the floors were bad.
It's a type of work that's tedious, but rewarding.
You can start varnishing it and that's when you get the instant gratification moment.
While they contracted out some things, such as reshingling the roof, the large majority of labor was done the way the organization normally operates.
There's been an extraordinary amount of volunteer hours and labor that has gone into that. It's been really amazing.
While it was a major overhaul, great effort was taken to maintain the integrity of the space.
Ultimately, I feel like we're honoring the structure and celebrating it in its new chapter of relevancy 120 years after it was built.
Really excited. I almost could cry.
One of the biggest challenges of the move was the sheer size of the equipment from the Iowa City Press Co-op.
We can break up presses, a little bit into pieces, but some of the pieces are just insanely heavy. So this press that I'm next to, there are still parts that are missing because we disassembled some of it before the move, but it's easily 500 pounds.
Slowly, the pieces started to come together.
The Vandercook was the first thing to come in, and that was total excitement. Like, oh my goodness, we have our first press in, it's official, and then more things started coming in, and I had this moment of, okay, it's real. Now it's feeling like a lot.
The COVID-19 pandemic has drastically changed our community.
We continue to see a lot of patients in our telemedicine clinic. Our commitment to act with caution now is critical to reduce the impact on health, jobs, and the economy in the coming months.
Our governments, our school districts, our healthcare systems, these are all working together to help minimize the spread of this virus.
Until there is a vaccine that is successful and our community has broad-based immunity, I don't think we'll ever be out of the woods.
We're looking to open probably within a month of when everything started to shut down because of the pandemic.
Plans for a grand opening had to be set aside and focus shifted to virtual programming. Like all of us, PS1 had no sense of the longevity this crisis would have.
It's just funny thinking back on like the timeline of thoughts, like thinking, oh, well, we'll do like 1 month of virtual workshops in May, and thinking we'll just do this maybe once and then see where it goes from there. And now we're planning for our 3rd round of virtual workshops to go over the fall and winter.
How do we continue to be a vibrant arts community with this pressure that's going to be on us for, the next year or 2?
The pivot to virtual programming and hosting some outdoor events and improvements has helped fuel interest in the space.
There were things that we were going to do anyway, but I feel like became much more important. The Open Air Media Festival was like that. I heard people say like this is the first communal art event I've experienced in months. It feels really special just to be out here and experiencing art with other people.
Maybe we can work on some of these things that happen behind the scenes so that when we are able to bring more people in, we kind of hit the ground running.
Even during the pandemic and the year plus since we have been in these spaces, there's been such an outpouring of community support.
And while it's still uncertain when the space will be able to safely open to the public, the excitement for that day continues to build.
I'm excited about how these two structures can bring the organization above ground while still maintaining kind of its underground identity as a place for exciting and conceptual artwork and experiences to happen in the community.
I think it's really important for artists or anyone who likes to create to have a community that they can feel supported by.
There's a lot of reasons to be pessimistic these days, but I'm optimistic in the Iowa City arts landscape because I think there are a lot of organizations that are making the best of a bad time.
It's exciting to see someone come in and be like, wow, I didn't know that you could do this to a house. To be able to transform a house into an art space is still like a really exciting thing.